Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. This is Floating in Dreams, and today's video is going to be all about my top 5, bottom 5 Charlotte Tilbury products. So let's get talking about some bougie makeup. Welcome everybody watching today's video. Thank you so very much for being here today. Yes, today we are doing a top 5, bottom 5 about Charlotte Tilbury. Charlotte Tilbury is a brand I truly love and adore. I've tried bits and pieces here and there over the years, and over time I've just accumulated quite a few of the products. So I'm going to be doing a video about my favorite Charlotte Tilbury products and my least favorite Charlotte Tilbury products. Now, does that mean the least favorite ones are bad? Not at all, because Charlotte Tilbury, I mean, can Charlotte Tilbury do any wrong? I don't know. A lot of her products are quite hyped up here on YouTube and on TikTok and all that stuff. I don't think I've ever tried a true dud from the brand, and I've tried quite a lot of products. And yeah, so I just thought I could come on here and chat to you about those things. In case you're new here and you're unfamiliar with my content, just know that I love chatting about eyeshadow palettes. I love trying Essence and Catrice, and I like getting the use out of my products, which is why one of the products I want to show you, I don't even own anymore because I used it up completely. And another thing that's going to factor into this top 5, bottom 5 is the fact that I'm a snow angel, and maybe you are a snow angel too, and you'd like to join my little club here on the internet. So please subscribe to the channel if you also have fair skin with a cool to neutral undertone, because it can definitely skew some makeup preferences. Because I want to make sure I end this video on a high note, we're going to talk about my bottom 5 first. And remember, these aren't bad products. So let me talk about the product that I no longer have first, because it's easier. I'll pop a picture on the screen of what the Charlotte version looks like. But the reason why the Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Flawless Filter, which is her finishing powder, which I used to own in the shade Fair, is in the bottom 5 of the list, is not because it's a bad powder, but because I found this. This is by Essence. This is the Skin Loving Sensitive Mineral Powder. It only comes in one shade. That's the downside of this one. But for me, it's on par with the shade that Charlotte does, and I feel that the texture of this, the formula of this, is identical. But this costs a fraction of the price. It doesn't have the fancy packaging, of course, but this Essence powder I felt was a straight-on dupe for my Charlotte Tilbury powder. And why would I use? Because powder is a product that I use up a few of every single year. Sometimes the powder is a bit big and I don't get through it that quickly, but sometimes with powders, and the Charlotte one I felt I went through quite quickly. So if that's a product you want to repurchase time and time again, then with how expensive this brand is, it just costs so much money. So if I then have a dupe, that's like what? €3.50? Maybe $3.99. Like, it's not going to be over €4. And I feel that it works the same way as the Charlotte does. Then that powder gets the spot in the bottom 5 here of my top 5, bottom 5 selection, because I don't want to have to repurchase a what, €40 powder? Now this next product that I wanted to show you in my bottom 5, I already showed you in my full face of disappointing products that I did in March, and it's the Charlotte Tilbury Corrector. This is in the shade Fair 01, and don't get me wrong, again, I like this product, but in terms of concealers and correctors, I think she needs to come out with something new. She hasn't really come out with anything that's gonna go and work on my quite dry skin. She does in her foundation ranges, but in her concealer ranges, it's either a corrector like this or a very full-on concealer with one of those weird sponge tip applicators that I don't love. So that's why this corrector just has to go into the bottom 5. I wish that she would do a dewy formula concealer. That is going to work. Does this product work for me? Is it pretty? Yes. Is it my favorite corrector? No. And that's why this gets to go into the bottom 5. Now this is going to be a shock to some people, but in my bottom 5, I wanted to put this. And this is the Vintage Vamp eyeshadow palette. And this sort of sits in place for every single shadow I have tried from Charlotte Tilbury. Not because this is bad quality, but again, the cost. These babies are like what, €60 a pop? And you get a whopping 5.2 grams of product. yeah, a Natasha Denona palette, like the midi size is like what, 65 euros? And that comes with like 10 times the amount of product, not 10 times. But it's a lot more shadow that you get. So with how much product you get in here, now I don't have to really worry about hitting pan on any of my eyeshadows because I have so many eyeshadow palettes. But for how expensive it is and how much product you get, granted, Charlotte Tilbury is a more luxury brand, of course. So it's definitely one where I think there are a lot of really pretty color stories. I still somehow want to get my hands on that Green Lights one, but it seems to be sold out all the time. But yeah, Vintage Vamp is my favorite of the eyeshadow palettes that I do have from the brand. I like the formula. I like the idea of, you know, having all the shades you need to do like a basic look, a more glammed up look, having a bit of sparkle. Like, you can deepen things up. Like, I really like the way these are set up and the way you're supposed to use them. Definitely watch one of the Charlotte Tilbury tutorials if you've never used these before, because there is like a method to how these are supposed to be used. And I do appreciate that these quads now get a lot more hype over on YouTube. I remember a couple of years ago, everybody hated on these. A, because they were super expensive, and two, because people were like trying to do with this that they would do with indie shadows. But I feel there's now a niche of people who are creating content who really appreciate the formula that she does and who understand the way these products are supposed to be used. And I think that then you have a really cool, really luxury, like, you also pay for the experience of these products, so I totally understand it. But if I think of how much eyeshadow I have and what this does in my collection, it's not enough for it to warrant this kind of price point. Now, another thing I want to list here is blush. And it's, again, not because I don't like this. This is the Pillow Talk blush. But the reason why I don't love this more than I do, and why this gets to go into my bottom 5, is because in her blush range, I just struggle finding shades that will work for me. And this is something that's going to factor into the next product as well. Charlotte Tilbury is a brand that insists on making everything incredibly warm toned. Now, and this is something that I understand because a lot of people seem to like warm tones seem to be the norm. And they have been the norm for a very long time. But it doesn't mean that something like the Pillow Talk blush is just a hair too deep for me. It works really well, but it kind of only goes with certain looks for me. It doesn't go with as much, and it's not as universally flattering as I was hoping it would be. And a couple of the shades in her blushes really, like, I've swatched them in store and they just sit against my skin tone like it's such a stark difference that I'm like, I could never make those work. Which brings me to my final bottom 5. This particular highlighter. I think it was limited edition. This is the Hollywood Superstar Glow highlighter. I still have this because, I mean, this is just stunning. It's a stunning product. It's just too warm and too deep. Like, I can make it work in the height of summer when I have a little bit of a tan. I can make this work. Like, if I commit, I can make it work, but it always leaves a little bit of a dark cast. And this brings me to what I was just saying, how Charlotte Tilbury insists on making things quite warm toned. And this was actually another brand, I think it was Bobbi Brown, where a sales rep told me, like, yeah, we make everything with a more yellow undertone because that works for everyone. And I'm like, no, it doesn't work for everyone. And I feel that Charlotte Tilbury has like a similar vibe going on in her line, where everything pulls very, very warm toned. Her champagnes don't have a cool undertone. Everything has this golden, rose gold undertone. Like a lot of her packaging, actually. And I just find that a bit of a shame because I feel that the brand could have been loved even more by more people if she focused a bit more on undertones, not just in her base products, because it does happen in the foundations for sure. And I really appreciate, for instance, that the powder that she does, that it comes in different shades, and also for the bronzer, there are different shades. The bronzer that comes in this similar style packaging, I really, really adore. But I feel that the undertones are just never truly right for me. So when I do a full face of Charlotte Tilbury, I can only do that in like August, because then my skin kind of goes with these things the most, which is why you won't see that bronzer in my top 5, no matter how much I like it. You won't see the Beauty Light Wand in Pinkgasm in my top 5. Even though I love those products, I feel because they have such a warm undertone that I can only wear them if I'm wearing particular makeup looks. And if I'm gonna love something, they are going to be universally flattering on me, no matter the time of year, no matter the season, no matter the look I'm doing. So that's why my top 5 consists of these products. So this is my segue into my top 5, and I think a top product from the brand is Beige products. She does foundation really, really well. I have the Beautiful Skin here and the Light Wonder, and I like both of these products a lot. I think my favorite has to be this one, the Light Wonder, because it just has a more lightweight texture, and I feel that the shade I picked in this, which is Too Fair, goes better with my complexion than the Beautiful Skin one. Can I make this work? For sure. This is in 3 Cool. I kind of shade matched it to this. So this actually, like, it looks a lot darker in the tube than this one does. But I feel that when I shear it out, ooh, I'm dropping things. When I shear this out, it looks really, really pretty. I love the texture of both of these products. Both of these are dewy foundations that are still long lasting, which is a feat, because if you've ever tried like more dewy foundations, they don't tend to last on your skin that well. I have quite dry skin myself, so I always struggle with makeup looking very cakey on my skin, or just like a little too heavy and like too much. And these 2 products I feel work really well for me. So that's why the Charlotte Tilbury foundations that I have here, I couldn't really pick between the 2, so that's why I decided to sort of just go with Beige and let that be that. I don't think I've ever tried her Magic foundation. That's one I've never tried. That seems to be far too full coverage for my liking, and I'm not going to try products that I know won't work for me. Another cult favorite, and a product that I also really like, is the Hollywood Flawless Filter. Now my bottle is looking a little bit weird because the lettering is coming off. This is in the shade Too Light, and I really like this. My favorite way of using this is under foundation. I really like the way this looks on the skin. I really like the way this kind of, you can use it on its own if you'd like to, like if you want to go for that barely there kind of moment. I like that too, but especially if you were to like put it together with the Light Wonder, I feel it really adds something differently to your base makeup. I don't love using a product like this as a like highlighter on just the tops of my cheeks. I feel it's not highlightery enough for that. But I really do like this, like more all over, and then blending it in with a sponge and then blending your foundation on top. And then it is more helpful if you use a more sheer coverage, so that this product can really have a moment to shine through. So I use this as a glowy primer. That's the way I love this. And this is so pretty. And I really think this is a bit more special than many of the other products that promise to do the same. I don't know, there's just something about this formula that I feel really makes it like an outstanding makeup product, and definitely something different from what most brands are doing till this day, because this has been around for a while, and I don't think there's anything really out there that really does this and that you can really use in a multitude of ways. I mean, essentially you could do an entire makeup look with just this one thing, so I really appreciate this. And I was just giving you a bit of a moan about how I think Charlotte Tilbury needs to do some other undertones in her cheek products, but she does do something, and I only just recently got this, but I'm so happy I do. This is her Film Star Bronze and Glow, and this is the light medium shade. Yes. And in light medium, she nails it. I mean, this bronzer is stunning. It's really nice, light, really good fair for a fair skin tone. But where the Airbrush bronzer pulls quite orangey, I feel this has a much cooler undertone. So I like this so much better than what she does in her Airbrush bronzer. And this highlighter is actually really pretty too. So I know she can do it. She has some products in her line that work really well for my fair skin tone with a cool undertone. So the Film Star Bronzer Glow, which I have in the travel size. She does this in a smaller size, which is a lot more affordable, which I appreciate because it means I can try out the product, and if I truly, truly love it, or if you're like me and you just have a very large collection and you're never going to go through a full size of these, you can still try the product, which I think is great. But let's not beat about the bush and talk about what we are, where my love for Charlotte Tilbury got started. And that's lip products. I love Charlotte Tilbury lip products. From her gloss range, I haven't tried too many of the different things she offers, but the thing I fell in love with are these guys. These are the Collagen lip baths, and I'm wearing one, the darkest one, in Walk of No Shame on my lips today. I thought it would go with the warm tones that I've got on my eyes. The other shades I have here are Refresh Rose and Pillow Talk. Refresh Rose on me doesn't really show up very much. Pillow Talk is like a really nice nudie shade, and if I wanted to have a bit more color, I go for the Walk of No Shame shade. Now, if you want to see all three of these on and the rest of my Charlotte Tilbury lipstick collection, then make sure to find the link in the description box down below, because I updated my entire Charlotte Tilbury lipstick collection in March. It just didn't get a lot of views because I did something wrong when I uploaded it, and I scheduled it wrong, and then it went already live and I took it down, and then it didn't go into the algorithm. So it doesn't have a lot of views, but know that I have an updated Charlotte Tilbury lipstick collection video in case you are curious to see what these look like on, as well as all the other shades that I have, because I love her formulas. I have a lot of her lipsticks. Like, that's where, like, the pocket in my makeup collection where Charlotte Tilbury really reigns is lips. So yeah, I love these. These have a really nice minty tingling feeling to them. They stay on quite well for how glossy these are, and these are very nourishing on the lips as well. I feel that these are really that gloss and lip balm sort of hybrid, and especially in the winter time, I loved wearing these because they really make, you know, plump up your lips, make them feel very comfortable. They make your lips, like if they're a little bit dry, they really add that hydration and moisture back into your lips, and they just make your lips very pretty. I'm very impressed with this. And they have the cutest little applicator with a little heart shape. It's so fun. Her Matte Revolution lipsticks. If I had my top one favorite, like top favorite product from Charlotte, her Matte Revolution lipsticks. I have a bunch of these, but I thought I could talk you through my two favorite shades here. And it's a nude and a red. And if you're an OG subscriber, you know exactly what I'm going to be showing you today. Very Victoria, not Pillow Talk. Very Victoria is my favorite nude from Charlotte Tilbury. This is a little cooler and more mauve toned than the Pillow Talk one. Pillow Talk is like a peachy pink, which again on me works, but I need to wear the right look for it to work. Whereas this, I can slap it on, universal shade, goes with everything. If I go like, oh, I want to wear a nude lipstick today and I don't know what to go for, I always pull for this one every single time, foolproof. And then the Red Carpet Red. Like, if you want a nude or a red, I got you here. Red Carpet Red is one of those reds where if I put this on, it's stunning. It goes really well with my blonde hair, brown eyes. It just really adds something to my look. Can I take this off? That is what Red Carpet Red does for me. So do you just see that it just adds that instant like sort of vibrancy to my face, which is why I love wearing red lipsticks to begin with. I've just really toned down on the amount of red lipsticks I wear because of the whole mask wearing situation that we were in. Over here, we now don't have to wear that many masks anymore. Like, they're in not that many places. I think it's being like taken down almost everywhere. But it just means, like, I have to get back into the swing of things. I need to go back to using red lipstick more often because I love this shade. I really, really enjoy it. And I remember when I bought this, the lady at the store didn't want to take it off. She was like, this looks so good on you. I don't want to take it off because I wanted to try another color after this. But yeah, this is love of my life. One of the best red lipsticks in my entire makeup collection. If you want a Charlotte Tilbury lipstick, go for the Matte Revolution shades. Those are like, they're very comfortable mattes. They wear a really long time. And if you just want to get 2 shades, Very Victoria would be my perfect nude, and Red Carpet Red. I always go back to those shades, even though I own so many other lipsticks by now. Like, I have 4 different reds from her. This is the one I still go back to. So I hope that this was helpful for you to make some choices as to what Charlotte Tilbury products to look into. As I mentioned, I already left off a couple of other products because they didn't quite make the cut when it comes to like being top 5 or bottom 5, you could say. But yeah, these are the products that I truly, truly love, and that I think, I wish there were just more options in some of these things. That's pretty much it. It's not bad quality product at all. It's really lovely, great blendability, great wear time. I love all of my Charlotte stuff, but I had to be tough on some of these for this video today. So I really hope you enjoyed watching this video. Please give it a thumbs up if you liked it. Subscribe to my channel if you'd like to see more by me. I make 3 new videos a week, so I hope you'd like to stay tuned for more, and I hope to catch you in my next one. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.